In this video, I'm going to discuss the latest application rate for June 2026 BTO launch. Let's start with 2-room flexi first. So this is the total supply and demand as of today. And as you can see, the numbers grow slightly versus yesterday, but Bukit Merah is still leading the way with more than 2,700 applicants, followed by Bishan with more than 1,600 applicants. Until now, Ang Mo Kio is still the least favorite town among applicants for 2-room flexi. Now let's look at the 2-room flexi application rate for seniors. The highest right now is Woodlands with 3, followed by Bishan with 2.9. And then the second runner-up is Bukit Merah with 2.1. Ang Mo Kio and Sembawang are almost very close to one another, as you can see from the application rate. Now let's look at the application rate for first-timer singles. Right now, Woodlands is the most subscribed town with 15.1. And then the runner-up is Bukit Merah with 6.3, followed by Bishan with 6. Now let's talk about the 2-room flexi application rate for first-timer families. So Woodlands now is leading with 0.8, which is a slight movement versus yesterday of 0.7. And then the other 4 town is still rounded up to a similar application rate. So Sembawang is 0.3, and then the other 3 towns are still standing at 0.1. For 2-room flexi application rate for second-timer families, actually the application rate is not that bad even for the highest subscribed town, which is Woodlands right now, because it is only standing at 2, and then the rest of the other towns are still less than 1, which means that these applicants will be able to get a queue number. Most likely, hopefully, will be able to secure a flat. Now let's look at 3-room flats. This is the total supply and demand for 3-room, and as you can see, Bukit Merah is still leading the way, and the runner-up is Woodlands with 308 applicants, followed by Ang Mo Kio, then Sembawang. Now let's look at the application rate itself. So for first-timer families, Woodlands is at 2, which is still sensible. Meanwhile, Ang Mo Kio and Bukit Merah are tied with 1.1, and Sembawang still have some allocation if you want to apply a 3-room here. For second-timer families, Bukit Merah already reached 17.4, followed by Ang Mo Kio with 16.9. I think among other flat types, Ang Mo Kio 3-room flats are quite popular. That's my observation, because for 2-room flexi and 4-room, seems like Ang Mo Kio is trailing behind, with the exception of 3-room, so it's quite popular. And then let's look at 4-room. So this is the supply and demand for 4-room flats. Again, Bukit Merah is leading the way with more than 4,100 applicants, followed by Bishan with more than 3,000 applicants. Right now, Sembawang is the only town where the total supply is still larger than the demand. So if you haven't applied yet, you might want to consider Sembawang if you want to secure a flat very soon. For first-timer families, in terms of the application rate, Woodlands is standing at 3.4, and then the runner-up is Bishan with 3, followed by second runner-up Bukit Merah with 2.6. For Ang Mo Kio is still standing at 1, while for Sembawang it is still at 0.5. Next up, let's talk about the application rate for second-timer families. Bukit Merah is still leading the way with 18.4. I think the trend will continue until the closure of the sales period, because today is already day 6, and typically the trend is already set by, let's say, day 5, day 6. So most likely the trend will be like this. And then the runner-up, as you can see, is Bishan with 13.5, followed by Woodlands with 11.6. Now let's talk about the bigger flats, which is 5-room flats as well as 3-gen. So Woodlands right now is still more popular versus Sembawang for these bigger flats, because it already received 639 applicants, whereas Sembawang only received about half of it. And then as you can see, the total demand for Sembawang is still less than the total supply. It's actually quite interesting. I really do think that Sembawang is experiencing oversupply, because when I look at the prices for 5-room and 3-gen compared with the 4-room prices, actually the prices still make sense. Probably people hesitate because the Sembawang projects are both far from the MRT station, and then also Sembawang has been launched back-to-back in several BTO launches, so probably the interest already dissipate. Now, let's talk about the application rate for first-timer families. Woodlands right now is standing at 2, and then Sembawang is standing at 0.3, which is rounding to like a flat number versus yesterday, because the growth is very minimal. Next up, let's talk about the application rate for second-timer families. So for Woodlands, it's already reached 7.4, while Sembawang is at 2.5. For reference, here is the latest HDB application rate, and come back again tomorrow if you want to know the latest number. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye. To support my work, you can give a one-time tip by pressing the thanks button, pick the amount that you want, and click buy and send. Or you can also press the join button for exclusive contents and monthly membership. Your support means a lot to keep us independent. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye!